Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining me today for another Twilight Zone video in my Twilight Zone ranking series, where I rank every episode of the original Twilight Zone from my least favorite to my favorite. Today I'm going to be talking about number 39, A Piano in the House, written by Earl Hamner Jr. and directed by David Greene. This is a season 3 episode, and as always there will be spoilers. So, A Piano in the House is an episode that I've always thought was interesting, but I've always had a little bit of an issue with the supernatural element, but I have to say on rewatch, didn't have that issue at all, and I thought this episode was pretty great. So this was an episode that definitely I ranked better on the list after the rewatch as well. So I thought the way the plot played out was interesting, and the ending of the episode is also very satisfying. Barry Morse gives a solid performance in the lead as Fitzgerald Fortune, a very unlikable character I have to say, and Joan Hackett is pretty good as his wife Esther. So this guy is a critic, Fitzgerald. We start with him, and he wants to buy a piano for his wife for her birthday. And the man who runs the store is a little grumpy, and he decides to play the piano. And when he plays it, his mood suddenly changes, and he's much more pleasant. And when the piano stops, he's grumpy again. So we have a very interesting concept for the episode. So at this point, we meet up with Fitzgerald at home, and we get to meet his wife Esther. She asks about the piano, and he tells her now she won't need lessons. She can find out how she has no talent for herself. So Fitzgerald basically continues to be a very unlikable person. So Fitzgerald tries this piano out on the butler, whose moods change back and forth. Happy when the music plays, not so happy when it stops. This scene was very bizarre to watch and also very entertaining in my opinion. So Fitzgerald now has figured out how the power of the piano works, and he has another devious plan. He decides he's going to test the piano on Esther, who says she hates him and married him because of her young age and inexperience, things like that. So now we go to her birthday party, and a guest named Gregory arrives, who has a thing for Esther, but Fitzgerald suspected this and uses the piano on him to confirm his suspicions. So now Esther is upset and asks Fitzgerald not to use the piano anymore, but of course he's having too much fun to stop now, and this guy is really annoying at this point in the episode. So more guests arrive, and there's a woman named Marge there, and Fitzgerald decides to humiliate her in front of everyone by using the piano, and I have to say this scene really upset me. I genuinely felt bad for this lady. Also a great performance by Muriel Landers, the lady who played Marge. I thought she did a great job in this scene. So at this point, Fitzgerald asks Esther to try a new sheet of music to continue his games, but she turns the tables on him and switches it to a piece of music that makes Fitzgerald confess his thoughts about being selfish and spoiled. He also confesses to other things about how he picked on others because he was jealous, things like that. So Esther leaves with Gregory, and Fitzgerald winds up alone. So Fitzgerald throws a tantrum. The butler comes in and tells Fitzgerald he's not funny anymore. So this episode has really grown on me every time I watch it. I thought all of the characters were well acted and interesting, and so much happens in this episode. I thought it was really well paced. It's also an episode that's both entertaining and thought-provoking, and I think A Piano in the House is a little underrated. So overall, for those reasons, that's why A Piano in the House comes in at number 39 on the list. As always, feel free to leave me a comment on this episode if you liked it or not. Thanks very much for your support, and thanks for watching.